We're jumping straight in. No starting stream. None of that. Just here. All right, let's hit what we need to hit first, which is this. Punch that up. Boom. Boom. Looks like moves are happening already. We're a little late. A little late. The overall picture look like we're still under part of what looks like a testing of ZFYRJNPI. Let's take a look about economic news today. Is there any? What is the calendar like? We do have car production, new car registration, 7 a.m. ECBM. Treasury for China, it looks like. Oh, that's at 7:30. All right. Holdy righty. Keep getting hit with TTS, guys. Copyrighted songs that are supposedly of non-copyrighted songs, but you never know. Artists could change their mind and that. Dun, 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 dun. I was just saying 7 a.m. Time zone is that on?
Need a confidence boost when filing your own taxes?
What?
Add a tax pro review when you file online with H&R Block. A tax pro will ensure you the best possible outcome and then file your return for you. Tax pro review. It's the convenience of home and the confidence of a pro. When the world gave them setbacks, science gave them bounce backs. And when your vet delivered life-altering news, science delivered life-changing
nutrition. Hill's prescription diet. Science did that.
There we go. All right. Trying to figure out, are we in channel? Are we not? Just taking forever to get set up. I guess it did bounce, but is it gonna bounce forever? We're gonna bounce on this channel again. Are we not? It's trying to. Uh-oh. All right, so what is it doing? What are we doing? I have no idea. All right, what does the money show? What does the money show is happening?
Weakness on the charts. Just looking at this daily chart though, I start to draw a little line so it's a little clearer. We did break this major support area at
Let's start watching these
187.039.
guys more.
I'm just waiting for a break of support again. Just looking at how this pair is consolidating. We do have a spike all the way down to 186, 123. I'm not too worried about this. It's about 80 pips away, but just with how strong this downtrend is, and if the momentum continues, I don't think this spike would really pose a threat to the downtrend. So I'm really looking for a break of 186.94 to start monitoring this pair and seeing, hopefully it would be in the main trading session. Hopefully we got strong momentum, pound weakness and yen strength on our side. But as of right now, that's the current level I'm monitoring, and I do think this pair can certainly, if it does continue past that price alert, I think we have a chance of coming down to 184.226. Igor was mentioning pivot points. You know, for me, this is a point where this pair had a lot of trouble moving downward, and it failed off of this price here at 184.226. It's not directly on the pip, but it's just an area where this pair had started to bounce around and rethink its decision to continue moving down. It started to pivot and change direction. So that's how I kind of look at support and resistance zones, is where did this pair have trouble getting past? You know, it could be in terms of how many times it's pinged that level, or just how long it went in a range in that level. So that's my game plan for the pound yen. The Aussie US dollar, going to the monthly time frame, very strong downtrend in place on the monthly. Weekly time frame, looking at it, we're in a strong downtrend. We've broken past the support area from 0.60822. Now we've pulled back pretty hardcore, you know, just to the lows. We are 128 pips away. So again, this chart has, I sound like a broken record at this point. I'm pretty sure we just need to wait for these charts to choose a direction, either consolidate and reverse or continue the direction. But I just don't think the market's ready for any major moves unless Trump comes out with some more tariff news or there's some other catalyst involved. The last pair I thought was quite interesting was the euro yen. You know, the weekly is going nowhere. The daily time frame has kind of crossed over to the downside. It's not a fully developed D1 downtrend yet, but the chart isn't that great. You know, the 4 hour, if I look at this is not that smooth as I want it to be. You know, the daily time frame has some merit to it. I think if it breaks 158, 197, I think we can come down to 155.839. But before that point, man, it's really hard for me to want to sell this pair just because it's been bouncing around and spiking really hard. So I'd really want to see this pair break 158, 15, just to make it a nice even number, and see a continuation down to the lows of 155 or sorry, 156. So that's kind of the game plan right now. There's not really much I can say. A lot of these pairs have just pulled back so hard that only thing I can do right now is just wait and sit on my hands. You know, I don't really like trading in these times. You know, volatile times, really hardcore movements will have wide ranges. You know, Igor mentioned that perfectly before, and I certainly agree with that. And I become very skittish. You know, I become exactly like a turtle. I put my head back in my shell. I'm just waiting to see when the time is safe to start going in with heavy risk. But right now, I'm certainly out of the markets. Yeah.
Well, we also have that FOMC meeting minutes coming tomorrow, and then the CPI data on Thursday.
Yeah, right.
Again, they might not be, I mean, non-events. That's happened previously as well, you know?
Yeah.
So, Igor, don't you watch your heat maps as well? Those maps that you showed us before?
Yeah, of course. Today, let me refresh this page. Okay. So today, wow, we've pulled back pretty hard. So the euro yen was at a 1% move to the downside. The best opportunity today, you know, according to the heat map, was euro yen based off of euro weakness, 7 out of 7, and yen strength, which when I was looking at it before we came live was 7 out of 7. But again, the market conditions are so terrible. I don't care what this heat map is telling me. The market conditions just are too terrible for me to consider a stable movement or a trend trade. You know, the heat map, again, it only just shows you what's going on in the market, how much a pair has moved since the beginning of the session.
So it might just get whipsawed, huh?
Yes. Yeah, of course, right. You know, your chances, even though the money is on your side at that time of entry for the euro yen, guess what the overall market picture is? It's pretty chopped up, and it's, you know, counter trend right now. So again, you'd have to really manage your expectations, scale back on your position sizes, and
We actually
be
might
willing
lose
to
this
exit
trade.
sooner and all that good stuff. But it's not a time to be heavy on your
Scary.
risk.
We
And,
lost it.
Be
Dang.
willing to risk more. I certainly don't think it is. But
No.
yeah, that's pretty much. I really want to see how the markets will consolidate and develop over these next few days. When the markets again they go into these big ranges. I don't know how long these consolidations will last, but the longer the consolidation, the bigger the pop. The bigger the movement is. So, who knows how long these movements will
Absolutely.
last? But yeah, consolidations are, I think, certainly in our path now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what we've seen on the pound US dollar for since I think we started these sessions. I
Right.
remember before you came on board with Eagle, we were watching the pound US dollar every single day. It's just like an Eagle was stating, like such a boring market moving sideways, and then bam, you get that spike out of it. Finally,
Yeah.
some direction, and then one heck of a sell-off again. It's crazy.
Right.
Now we have so big volatility that I don't need CPA tomorrow. So this is this is the
Yeah.
so
Well, you made your money for
I
the
can
week, so
show
what
something.
you complaining about?
Yes,
Right.
I can retire now. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yes. Let me see. Just like I said, when I have a problem, this is my mental exercise. But the problem with the market and the high volatility, usually what I'm trying to do is to watch my levels, just to get the feeling where I am. So I will
Oh,
just show
come
you right
on.
now the charts for some
Get up there.
some
Okay.
assets
Get up
that
there,
I'm watching.
please.
Just to
Please.
make few comments there, and I can think that for traders can be very interesting. So the I in the trading view I add the market levels indicator, and right now first we watch aluminium.
Looking a little rough.
What's happened right now is that, as we know, the Trump made a tariff to the Canada, and I think that 25% of all aluminium they import from the Canada, and this will create a problem in the U.S. because people think, okay, right now we will have a situation because
Order filled.
we will have a situation for high demand, etc. But the problem is the U.S. companies now, when they see that Canada cannot be competition anymore for a lot of products and a lot of services and products, they start to increase the price. And this is some basic thing in economy, and you will see that this situation can increase the price of the stocks in the first time, because companies will start to increase the earnings because of this. But the problem is the price of the aluminum should rise because we have this tariff.
Stop filled.
And as we can see right
We lost
now,
a little bit today.
we started
On the
when
one account we want to
started,
pass.
from the yesterday. We had a
When we were so
painful
close to
bearish trend
passing.
continue, and
We're
then
still on
in
our
one
way though.
moment, we had very long bearish candlestick, which just to show that we are on the end of this process.
Keep
Then
going,
we have
baby.
some kind of the
Keep
doji bullish
going.
candle, and now
Keep
we're
going.
starting to be bullish. We touched the ultimate support
Oh my
yesterday,
gosh.
and now we are
Here we
on
go.
weak stop reverse. This is very weak.
Here we go.
So there is a huge probability that we will go to the bottom range and maybe to the pivot point, which can be interesting profit for investors that invest in this kind of commodities right now. The similar situation, if we watch the U.S. oil, we will see that the similar situation. We were oversold yesterday. We touched the day before.
Oh, should have stayed in.
Friday, and now there is some movement that we can go upside. Of course, this is not the proof that we will bullish right now, but we really touch the very low price level, and now we should expect some kind of correction, maybe a larger correction. And this is the something that I watch maybe for some longer investment. For US dollar, Japanese yen, for example, I just want to show how these levels are very strong. I would go, for example, on weekly chart. I think it would be more
Interesting. So I might be
here.
right on the way that looks.
We can see, for example, how some levels like this level weak stop reverse that just show that we can go to reverse point, and like we were on the strong pivot reverse, we have had some kind of reverse. But the problem with US dollar Japanese yen that we're in the channel, and this channel, I didn't draw this channel right now. I will do that just that we can see, just to find the right point for the Fib channel. We can do from here. Oh, this is the Fib channel. I didn't want that. Just a channel. Where is the channel here? Parallel channel, yes. So if we go here, we can expect a very interesting thing, that we maybe can go a little bit higher and then to touch support again. There is a probability for that, or to break this channel again. But the thing is that on this pair, I think that we are really, I cannot say to the bottom, but we are around the bottom, and there is a limited downside for this asset. So I want to see breakout of this channel, and I want maybe to be bullish US dollar Japanese yen again. But everything is correlated with US dollar here, and I need to wait more for that to be sure. Related to the euro dollar, we are on the weak stop reverse right now in this area here. This area was some kind of reverse. We started to go a little bit down. We're right now 2 bullish candles here, but I think that the euro dollar is not good for trading right now, because a little bit sideways, even that we had a strong bearish trend in Friday and everything, we're a little bit sideways. The market structure for all US dollar pairs is still bullish. So euro dollar, British pound dollar is still bullish here. Even that we had 500 pips down,
not a
still
whole
bullish.
lot.
And this is something that I need to know, because yet we didn't break this market structure. We can break if we continue to go below 1.27 British pound dollar, but right now we are there. And I watch the Bitcoin because I monitor Paul. he's really good expert here, and we yesterday we tried to analyze where is the good level that we can say that Bitcoin is ready.
Damn, we just lost it.
Because a
that
lot
fast.
Of people that trade cryptos,
That fast.
especially small crypto and assets, and of course trade the Bitcoin, they want to see again new highs for the Bitcoin. And I think that yesterday we talked about this level around $93,000. And this is the moment when we break this top of the trading range, and we start to go to the strong pivot reverse. This
Order
moment,
filled.
when we break this level, there is a high probability that Bitcoin will start to gain to $100,000 again, and maybe more, and that can pull whole crypto universe to start to go up. Even the small, very small penny cryptos, how to call that?
Yes, come on, make this happen.
I think that it's really
make it
important
happen.
to watch this level and support for the cryptos. For example, but I just talked with Paul yesterday. is
Uh-oh.
something that is questionable. It's not like for the other assets, because all other assets, there is some institution and they will protect some prices. I know that Bank of the England react if we are so oversold, for example.
Filled.
But for cryptos, there is no reaction. We can touch the really, really huge bottom and then to start go up and make a 50% of the
Where
gain.
are we looking at
So
here?
this is the I think it's more important to go above this level than to chase where will be the lowest low for the Bitcoin. And the last one that I just want to little bit analyze, and very similar to all these assets that I showed, we were yesterday in the oversold territory for the S&P, and now we are starting to go up, and I think that there is a probability that maybe we can go to a larger recovery, because we really touch really it was like I see $4,043, and it was I think 20 maybe more percent from the highest high, and it's really it was really huge drop. So I would like to see that stock market recover, and by fundamentals, like I said earlier about fundamentals, if we have these tariffs right now, and there's no competition in the US, there is a high probability that a lot of companies will use this situation, and the stocks will start to go up because earnings will go up, and I think that more money they will
Cut out a little
earn.
early.
So many of them will
Dang it.
increase the price because of the lack of competition. Just imagine, there's no Chinese, there's no Canadian, there's no this, and in that moment, U.S. market is a little bit alone, and they have huge advantage, and there is a probability that they. But I just want to say, it is just short period of time, because if this is the rule, every single country will put the wall around the globe, and everyone will work like that. But this kind of the market can be in Switzerland, for example, because their banking sector and everything they do, they're very good in that, and they can do that. They do the decades, for example. But for U.S. economy, I think this can be disaster.
Ooh.
And we will see.
Ooh, nice down movement.
I just want that. Personally, I don't
How far
like
down?
tariffs. I don't like this
Order
kind
filled.
of
Is it?
Politics that they.
Is it
they
more
do.
down? Move,
And,
move
I
thing.
think that they will suffer because of that in some moment.
Uh-oh.
But we will see how.
Absolutely. Right. I've got no setups, guys,
On my screen.
but let me just grab that. Unless you want to
Stop
show
filled.
something, Nandan.
All right, making some of that
no,
back.
Not much. I was just pretty much gonna say the same thing about gold. Actually, I'll share my. Actually, no, you got it. You got it.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all
be
All
good.
right, we're gonna bounce here. We're gonna move down more.
At the moment, I mean,
What's happening?
Except for the SPX as well as the NASDAQ that moved into that zone of mine. So very close to popping this high off yesterday, around about the, what was it? 18219 level here on the NASDAQ. ES already took out yesterday's high. It's like a bit of price action or price structure. And then we also have these lower highs here at 5284. It doesn't necessarily have to run that on the SPX. It already ran yesterday's high. I would expect potentially the same to happen on the NASDAQ first. So price is really, really close to that. And then hopefully get that little drop that we were looking for. Hopefully from a trading perspective, right? I don't want obviously the indices to weaken anymore, but that's what I'm looking at.
Order
from a trading
filled.
perspective. The WTI crude moved into that zone, nearly pipped this cluster of highs. We had a strong drop to the downside, but prices recovered nicely now. So still hopeful that it
I
can
mean,
go,
this could
off
either
those
go up or
highs
down.
around about the upper side of them, 6145, followed by a decline. So that's what I'm watching there. And then yesterday, I don't know if
Ooh,
you
we're gonna
guys,
lose it.
watched our session, but can you see that chart, my trading view chart?
Yes.
Right, so a lot of lines and stuff going on here, but
This could be a
what I've
big
pretty much
loss.
done here was to, let me just hide this one first.
Might have to change to a
Let's
lower
start
amount
with the
for our
pitchfork.
sacrifice account because
Use
we're
the
just
standard pitchfork using the three most prominent
killed.
anchor points prior to this run up that we've
Stop
had
filled.
from October
Ooh,
22 to
it did.
obviously these
They
recent
get ran
highs.
through.
The price came very close to what we call this lower red warning line. I would not be surprised if that could potentially still be
Okay,
tested.
okay.
So one more pip to the
Order
downside.
filled.
Well, not pip to the downside, but you know what I mean. Just
Are
run
you
up
gonna
these
make it all the
recent
way
lows
up?
and then get that strong move back up. Whether it's going to be corrective or not,
Are we going
price does
through?
not reach that market geometry lines as yet. That being said, market
He did
geometry,
not.
you know, you can use closing prices as well. If you do that, you can then say we already reached it. And this is now on the third anchor point of this pitchfork that I've drawn there. Also very interesting, these recent highs, if I switch that standard pitchfork to a shift pitchfork, then look at, let me just hide that for a moment. That's my channel that I've drawn. Then look at where these highs came in. It came at 150% median line. Beautifully, couldn't break through it. Broke below the upper median line, retested it, and has now dropped slightly below the lower median line. We also have this previous high. The price obviously broke out of here around about the beginning of
Stop filled.
last year and is now retested. Again, it fell short of that level, which is around 4,818 by a few ticks. Right, so you know, again, these levels don't necessarily have to be tested 100%. You know, it can fall short of it a little bit. A lot of times price can spike below it, then find support and move back up again. But what I'm trying to say here is there is a lot of sort of angular support levels close to where price is actually reversed from right now. If we do get another move lower, let me switch that to the standard pitchfork again and bring back my, hang on guys, my parallel channel.
Uh-oh.
Then you can see the channel I
Don't
drew a
give
little
it back.
different than a lot of people would. Instead of using lower lows or
Don't give
lows
it back.
to lows
Order
to highs,
filled.
I want to see where price could potentially move down towards or find support. Or
Oh
resistance
no, we're
if it
giving it
bounces
back.
up again. So I rather in this case use the previous high to a previous high to a low, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You quite often will find that even if you have instances like this where price sort of like just fell short of that angle or the lower side of that channel, that if you were to project at the same angle, let's say a ray or something like that, to those areas, it will typically act as support, in this case support again. Again, it's sort of loosely applied, guys. It's not 100% science. It's just very interesting to see how these things work. Look at this lower high here, act as resistance over there. So you don't really want to use this as sort of a trading plan. You're just looking at, you know, do we have angular support and resistance areas?
Come on, get a runner.
Let's say in this case, price reverses down again. And you can see that we don't have a beautiful cluster there, but if we do make another attempt to the downside, or not us, the indices, then you know that could potentially be an area that could act as support again.
Come on, give us the runner.
Now, on this move back upwards again, we got this blue dash line, which is now getting tested, as well as this lower 150% median line, this dashed one, maroon kind.
Give us the runner up.
Currently seen.
We want it up.
Which
baby.
could, and it's a bit of a confluence there, which could
Up,
also
I'll say it again.
acting,
Up, up,
or
up.
could potentially act as resistance.
Uppity upness.
Essentially, maybe just a move lower,
It is not.
and then another jump higher again.
on
Interesting
the
to see
trader.
how this week ends. Now, I think we talked about
don't
this
think.
yesterday. If price doesn't shoot up all the way from here, but it's sort
Are
of,
we gonna
let's
break
say
the zone?
Close, either we close to the
We breaking the
current high,
zone.
or maybe even lower, then we could be sitting, and it's too early to say, with a fair value gap that formed here on the weekly, which could be a very strong
Come on
resistance zone. So quite often with fair value gaps, rather than using them as, let's say, entry locations, I'm just trying to have to find my, where's my
Oh, you could do it.
tool.
You could so do
They
it.
typically, if they get broken,
I know
that's
you
a very
can.
strong indication that you actually
Make it
have,
through
in this
one more
case,
time. One more
a
time.
bullish continuation, that we might actually have a low in place with price making or getting ready to make its way back up again. If that
I
makes
got it out,
sense.
guys.
So I think the gist of it is just that, you know, we had very strong sort of areas where support could step in. Yes, we're getting a bounce to the upside, but you know, always have that sort of
Oh, looks like it's gonna go
doubts in your
to.
back of your mind, because price didn't really
But looks
get
could be
to all of these
deceiving.
levels that you're looking at, all these angular support areas. Just missed it. So are we going to see a test of it again? Doesn't have to. It'd be obviously nice if price can just continue back up from here.
Yes.
But what I'm also trying to say, we are at sort of a bit of a resistance area currently. So it'd be interesting to see if price reacts to that. We can start seeing weakness again. If not, if we see a strong bust through that, then obviously that will be good for the indices.
Nice.
And one question, Richard, can we see the chart of US oil? And your
Let me
setup?
get that for you. You want me to use
Oh, come on.
my
Dude,
current
we're getting
setup?
smacked up on
Yes,
our
your current setup.
sacrifice account.
Let me just share
That's
this
for
down
sure.
instead.
And yes, this setup. I just have a question.
Yeah.
Do we have some kind of strategy if we see breakout of this resistance here on the 61.6 level? Where is that?
Look, my strategy still, Ego, would be to see I've got a cluster of highs here.
Yes,
Now, you know, you can argue maybe guys that got short here, maybe they position all of their stop losses above there. So what I want to see is, I want to see that little cluster to be broken. Price to test it, immediately followed by weakness again.
Yes.
And then that would be an early indication for me then to short crude oil. But,
yes,
you know, that's
yes.
just on a, yeah.
Yeah, just wanted. I know
Like
that
it
strategy
still
is
wants to move
perfect,
up.
but because this resistance is so strong, because we have so many points here, we, for example, just see that price move above this resistance. Do you maybe plan there some kind of the trade? Then,
If it goes above this little resistance area and reverses, then I want to go short. Now, this high that we've seen here yesterday, what was it, around 63.59? If we look at that long-term weekly chart that I think you and me have been talking about previously, I think I was looking at it with Yanni as well, and was it James? We were sort of saying that this little zone here between
Order filled.
65.41 and 64.31, it's about $100 or $1 range. What? 63, almost a $2 range. I can't say that exactly. Looked a lot like some sort of a descending triangle, right? That area has been tested so many times, and now we had a very strong breakout to the downside. Now, typically, our traders would trade triangles, and maybe, I don't know, on such a high time frame, but they'll quite often wait for a retest then of the lower end of this case of a descending triangle.
Uh-oh.
I will have no doubt.
Uh-oh.
Things can obviously be surprising,
Uh-oh.
but that there will be a
Don't
lot of
give it back.
resistance in that area should price retest that, and potentially could see.
Oh, that's
a
coming
rejection
down.
to the downside. Okay, I just think after a
How much
triangle,
up
this
can we
move
get
that
back?
we've seen lower here is just not deep enough. I think we could potentially see a deeper decline than that. So this is looking at a weekly time frame here. If we look at this high from yesterday, was at 63.59. It hasn't reached the bottom side of this sort of support area that acts as a support now. Support classically could potentially turn into resistance after a retest again. Yeah. So this is as high yesterday. Made it to 63.56. what's it, 63.57. That could have been it, and now price is gearing its way up to go down again. But you know, knowing that in the back of my mind, that could have been the retest, and price is now making its way back lower again. But I very often see, especially if you have clusters like this, that if they eventually get run and you see weakness, that's quite often the very early signs of a liquidity sweep. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. Again, be interesting to see what happens.
Order filled.
Yes, at those current levels that I've shown you on the trading view chart, and yeah, you can see weakness within the zone or slightly higher, and that's on the NASDAQ. Very close to the top end of that zone. Then that could
we should have cut it. Should have cut it.
Opportunity to go short. Again, guys, I'm
Order
just day
filled.
trading this, right? I'm not like looking for these markets to go to new lows. You know, these recent weekly lows and stuff. Or yes, last week's lows and those sort of things. I'm just looking for 5, 10, 20-minute trades. Generally in these trades for no longer than 15 minutes on average. So just day trading.
Yeah, we were like a quarter of the way there.
Again, price is sort of at
I
the
mean, we
areas
were
I'm interested in, but,
2/3 of the way
there's still
there.
a lot of work to do. Have to see those breaker structures, but first to see those levels run, and then see if we can get reversals.
Don't want to give it back.
Nice.
Don't give it back.
Cool.
All right.
You guys got anything to show? How are we doing on time? It's only 20 minutes.
Yeah,
past
I got
the
some. I got some stuff to show.
Please
Thank you
do.
for adding me back in the room. My browser crashed.
Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just
Okay.
$1 down,
So first, I
$15
wanted
a
to
month.
go
Deal
over
ends Friday, April
gold.
11th.
Let me pull up gold. All right. So, I remember talking about gold last week. I was mentioning to everyone that we are in uncharted territory. You know, we're at historical highs pretty much, and you know, since we weren't at a fresh movement, you know, it's just a continuation of a really long-term trend. To be careful, you know, certain moves can stop you out of the market. Certainly, if you traded off of this consolidation area here, you got stopped out with the recent tariff news. You know, however, if you were in the beginning of the move, you could definitely stay in this pair for the long term if you were investing in gold. But I definitely think the market momentum to go up has come out. You know, the D1 is made this huge move to the downside. What's interesting is the 4 hour is starting to consolidate. I just have some weird gut feeling that the US dollar might start to strengthen soon. So I'd certainly be willing to look at gold and see if it consolidates a little bit more and then it starts to make its move back to the upside.
Glad we got
That
out.
will be very interesting to see. But as of right now, again, I think gold just needs more time to consolidate on these on this daily and 4 hour chart for me to really make a clear decision on if I want to buy it or sell it. You know, is it going to continue reversing off the larger time frames, or is it going to make its consolidation and then break that consolidation back into the higher time frames? But another thing, you know, cryptos. I was taking a look at the crypto market. We've had some interesting moves recently with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, everything. All these pairs, if I go into the weekly time frame, they're in downtrends. You know, Bitcoin's in a weekly downtrend, Ethereum's in a long-term downtrend, and XRP is
no.
a fresh cross moving to the downside. Do I think these guys are going to continue lower? I mean, as a crypto trader, I think we only know one direction, which is to stay long. So I really do think that these pairs can consolidate and move to the upside. I mean, they're already starting to do that, but again, it's too soon to say long term what's going to happen with crypto. You know, they're still in long term downtrends. So I still think in order to hit those new highs, we would need to see a little bit more of a consolidation, at least until we get some indication on the D1 or weekly that the trend indicators are starting to pull, move to the upside. But for short-term, day trade type of stuff, I was looking at the 4 hour, and we made this big move down recently, and we pulled back. I'm looking to potentially have a price alert at 81,205, and if it breaks through that, I'm looking for it to come back to 83,380. So let me draw that on the chart. So I'm looking for it to come pretty much back up to here and a price breakout of here. So it's a pretty small move. It's just, if you really had to trade something in this overall market, I think I certainly don't have a problem with taking day trades, changing my style from long-term trend trading into a short-term style of day trading. So, you can
Yeah.
potentially be in this trade for about 15 to potentially
Yeah.
up to an hour, just depending on how this
Because I
pair
mean,
moves.
historically, Bitcoin, after those massive previous sort of corrections that it went through, those phases,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not uncommon for it to go through quite a long
No.
accumulation phase again before you actually start getting
Down.
the next bull run to start. I
right.
think, as Igor was also saying, looking at that $93,000 level, that could be an indication that price is actually getting ready to go up. Until then,
Right.
price could just be running
No, no,
sideways,
no,
make
no, no,
everyone
no, no,
way
no.
more, what's his name, nervous,
Did I just get
I don't know,
trapped?
frustrated, and all those things that generally go with crypto trading, Bitcoin especially, before you
Yeah,
then
of
get
course.
that breakout to the upside. So, from a cyclical perspective, I think they talk about the 4-year cycle. I've heard a lot of guys saying that the 4-year cycle is
Oh, I just
not
want to get
over
out.
yet. But the decline we've currently seen doesn't mean it's over yet either.
No.
So
Right.
there
No,
could
no,
be
no.
the 4-year cycle
Oh,
still
the news
works
is
out
coming in.
more upside, or potentially way more upside. But look at previous, occasions after drawdowns or corrections, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, man, I just
You
had to.
generally would get that.
That was way
accumulation
too much
phase,
craziness
and
right
they
there.
Can last quite long, and that's actually
I'm
what
not
we
trying to
wanna
give it
see.
all back.
You want to see these
Right.
declines to stop. If it does go lower, just gradually, and then start moving sideways and gradually start building its way up. Those are all the indications that the next bull phase could then be underway. Until then, it's too early to tell. Way too early to tell.
Right. Yeah. And if I really wanted to get back into a Bitcoin long, buy this pair or buy this crypto, I'd certainly be looking. For me, that level is at 88,669.
Yeah.
If it breaks through that resistance point, um, this acted as a support, and now it's acting as a resistance.
Yeah.
If it breaks that level, I certainly do think these trend indicators will start to pinch off, and certainly
Yeah.
maybe even point to the upside, just depending on how much longer this pair consolidates, or how much longer this guy consolidates. So I think with crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, I think the best choice is to really adopt a more intraday style of trading. You're not really going to be looking at long-term swings, at least not right now. I think it's way too early for that. But Bitcoin, that short little level of resistance, which I was looking at, 81,161, potentially a move back up to 83,30. I definitely be
Hide your Reese's eggs in your
interested
basket.
in looking at that. Ethereum, Ethereum was just such a. I think it's even going weak now, but Ethereum is in such a strong downtrend. Man, I don't. I
Yeah.
just.
I really
Just
had high
getting-
hopes for Ethereum, but it's like, this is how
Right.
crypto works. It's like,
Right.
I think you're not the best, or you don't have much. How can I say, chances of? I won't say chances, but Bitcoin's still the king.
Yeah, of course.
And I would have expected Ethereum to
Oh,
go
what
to
just
brand new highs and
happened?
stuff when Bitcoin
Some
shot, but
news?
it just didn't happen. Is
That-
the altcoin
What was
season
that,
still going to
7:30?
happen?
The
Maybe.
Treasury
But I think Bitcoin will. 'Cause
balance
it hasn't really
was
happened this year.
somewhere.
I think
Right.
Bitcoin really needs to start going towards the final end of what they propose is still a 4-year cycle before altcoins will actually do its thing.
Right. And yeah, just one more thing to point out on the weekly time frame. This move we made to the downside, which is just half of this range, was done in 1 week. So we can
Yeah.
certainly, we all know crypto moves extremely fast when it wants to move. And I certainly think that we are not too long away from a significant move. I think that move is definitely approaching. It's just when does it break those two price alerts? But
Yeah.
you know, it's not. I wouldn't be so shocked, especially with the moves and volatility that we're having in other markets, if that volatility does transfer into crypto for some reason. You know, whether it be through the tariff news or whether it be through some other catalyst. You know, I don't see a reason why it wouldn't affect crypto. You know, it's against the US dollar. So if the US dollar takes a strong direction, that can certainly influence these charts. So I definitely
Yep.
would be looking at those levels, especially at 88,669. You know, my levels always change just by a little bit. I understand that, but just a approximate level for long-term buys. But yeah, the current market momentum, it's too unclear, and actually they're showing the exact opposite. They're showing that, you know, the cryptos want to go down. But as a trader, do I believe they'll continue down? I mean, I don't really think so. I think, again, as a person who trades, cryptos, the only direction we like to see is it going up. So so
Yeah, the way I see it, I wouldn't be surprised if you know everyone thinks, oh, that's it. You know,
yeah,
things are going to move up, and then you just get that one more spike just to flush everyone out again. You know, it's like cause a bit more
Should've
pain,
stayed in.
then you see it, which crypto can also do quite often.
Order filled.
yeah. It's very volatile. When it wants to be volatile, man, it will surprise you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Igor, do you have something to show us there?
Yes, I have few things just to
Okay.
share with you.
Oh no! Come on, come on.
Order
Okay,
filled.
sometimes I use different strategies to trade different assets. One of the things that I like, for example, that Aussie Cat is that
Filled.
use the mean reversion. People can use various indicators for mean reversion. One of the most popular is Bullinger Bands. Of course, I use a different one right now on the chart. However, all of them are very similar to each other. You just wait the price go aside of the mean reversion and try to sell and to target the mean reversion. The best asset for trading in that way is Aussie Canadian dollar. And as you can see, it's a good it can be good a strategy, especially when the price is in some kind of the range. But this time, as you can see on the chart, happens something that you can see one time at 10 years. You know, the price just went so down that it's incredible. So one push, so huge push, and after that, there is a pivot reversal point, and we had reaction that right now we are around that. And this is the way how sometimes, of course, when you trade a mean reversion, you need to use a stop loss, but a little bit larger than in ordinary trades. Because that way of the strategy, you need to be a little bit patient. Your time, even you trade on 1 hour chart, you need to be ready sometimes to hold your trade 48 hours or something like that. So it's really slow. Sometimes it's productive, sometimes it's not. But there is the Aussie CAD is very good for that.
Order filled.
Then what I want to show is another thing that very often I use as some kind of indicator when I lose the bias for Japanese yen pairs. I do not trade usually Euro Japanese yen and British pound Japanese yen because of high volatility and this unpredictable moves very often. For example, sometimes we can catch. Okay, this looks like a
Let's bring some of this back.
Bullish push here. But
bring it back.
Bring it back. You're still in the cloud or below the cloud.
Bring it back.
So I like to use Ishimoku clouds when I trade Japanese crosses because this cloud is something that give me edge for that. Very hard I can decide the bullish bearish invitation.
You just see a filled.
But cloud on 1 hour chart is the deal for me. So it's very easy. Above the cloud, I'm bullish. Below the cloud, I'm bearish. In the cloud, I'm watching the market. So this is the thing that I like to accomplish sometimes. And the last thing that I want to share with you related to this
It did
movement
not
that
fail.
we had from the Friday to till day is a huge spikes. And this chart is maybe when I add a
What do we
zigzag
got
just
here?
to see how that
Order
looks
filled.
like. We had a
Oh, I took that
huge
too soon.
upside move.
Too soon.
Then we have a little bit huge downside move, but a little bit shorter. Then again, shorter and shorter. And you can see after strong volatility, every single day, that volatility decrease. And in one moment, after a couple days,
It might work
we'll
out.
be again in our default range. For example, if euro dollar can be 80 pips, for British pound dollar can be 100 pips. But
It
it's
might
very
not.
important because of our
It's
risk
looking a
management
little crazy.
to get a clue about these spikes. Of course, about that we sometimes, for example,
Oh, it's going.
the Friday and Monday,
It's happening.
we should
Stop filled.
reduce
Let's go.
our risk 2 times, because instead of 100 pips, we had 200 pips, and we need to be ready to reduce this position size because of huge volatility, and we need to, of course, increase our stop loss and our targets. Everything change, which can be very,
adapting
very
to the
dangerous.
market conditions, right?
Yes, and the thing that we just talk a little bit the British pound dollar is that a typical move there. So from the January we had a very strong bullish push. Then we had a bullish bearish leg, large bullish leg, large bearish leg, etc. And then just around the end of the February, we started to have strong bullish trend. And then during the beginning of the March, we had these sideways moments that we were so unpleasant movements that we had for British pound dollar, and again the push. So sometimes we even just analyze the chart, we can realize that the last week of the month is usually the moment when we switch from the one stadium to another stadium, and this is not the by accident. So if remember, when we touch the ultimate low for the British pound dollar that we had, for example, I will just show that on the chart. So it was in the January. You can see that we started to change that shift in the last week of the January, started to go bullish. Then, like I said, again, we started.
Order filled.
Something happened, in the last week of the month and in the first week of the month. We had that really, really, really huge difference in the price.
Didn't wait. Did we not wait
and
long enough?
That to put in our calculation, in our formula when we analyze market, especially for this, even that we are day traders, we need just every single day. It's very hard to find the right bias. For today and yesterday, for me it was easy. It was a bearish, but sometimes it's very, very hard. And like I said, when I make mistake about bias, I'm losing the edge. I will have problem with trades. It will be disaster. It will be disaster because when I lose that, stop loss, real price
filled.
level, it's not good. And just for the end of this session, just the same thing that I said in the beginning of the session. So we went up to 1.2790 level. It looks like, we will break. It's bullish. If we watch, for example, the relative strength index on the 30-minute chart, you will see that it looks like really bullish. Oh, it's a bullish. It's beautiful. I will buy. And then, like I said, just because we are in this crazy range, we are getting down again. So this is we can see the range trading for today between these two levels.
Interesting.
And maybe tomorrow too. So I need to see at least 1 hour close above 1.28 to think about that we are right now in the intraday bullish stadium. So right
I also
now,
think the any sort of economical news events that's going to come out now over the next few weeks, months, might have an even more bigger impact than they usually did. Just because of the current state of the markets, you know, the fear and all that's prevalent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the meeting minutes of the previous meeting tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Maybe the CPI numbers on Thursday, as well as unemployment claims. So that might be a catalyst to hopefully get us or see the markets get into some sort of direction, so we could, you know, make better informed trading decisions.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did we jump in?
Yes, and I would
Why did
like
we
to
jump
see
in right there?
sometimes reject of the news. You know, it's a really good stuff when I see that the market reject the news, and that gives
Order filled.
additional credibility of the current market stadium. So when big dogs and the huge commercial traders, when they reject the news, don't see the news, and just keep their setups, it's a clear sign that we need to follow that main trend, whatever that trend be. So right now
at
we
least
are
something
in some,
to happen.
yes, yes. So I would like to get some good bias, especially longer term bias, just to fill the market in the right way.
Awesome.
Oh, the money's
Yeah, I
out.
think if you're
The money's
Right
out.
there. I think we only
Okay.
got 5 minutes left, and then that's it for us.
yeah, I was just gonna
We
say
really
if
don't
you're
have anything here that I'm looking at. It's just markets just started going sideways now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you're a trend trader, I think this type of market is very tough to trade in because we're just so far away from breakout points. Or, you know, if you got into trends earlier last week, you might be sitting on your hands now, which is what I'm doing. But I certainly think if you're a range trader, a person who likes to trade the smaller ranges on the smaller time frames, this is definitely a much better market for you.
Son of a
One,
gun.
these
Dude, we're
ranges
up
are
1,000.
pretty wide, but at the same time, we're not really. There's not enough volatility anymore. You know, that could definitely change in an instant, but there's not enough volatility for it to make significant moves to make breakouts. I mean, we're certainly really far away from any breakout point right now that I can see on any chart. So definitely think you know, that shift in trading strategy is definitely warranted now.
Stop filled.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today.
Yeah, same here. I'm really hoping that we can get some trades going. I think it was only who was it the other day that took a trade? Did you guys take any trades during the session recently?
More than halfway to passing.
Not during the session, but I did one last week that I
We're
showed on Friday.
2/3 away from passing one of them.
Yeah, I had a lot of reversals during my time window, but it's just the markets would just like shoot in one direction, and you just wouldn't get a revisit of those areas that I want to trade, which is, you know, very frustrating, but part of the
order filled
of trading, I suppose.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, last week you go from such a volatile market to what we kind of have now. I mean, it's still volatile, but it's not as smooth in my opinion. You know, it's very strong bursts of momentum in one direction and an immediate reversal.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty chopped up.
The only edge that we have right now are price levels. So we know strong price levels like this, 1.28, and you see the price just a few pips below cannot reach and try to reverse down or on the British pound dollar, for example.
Stop filled.
This is the only edge that we really have right now, and we can play around that levels and enjoying the game. So the only problem right now is that all these indicate oscillators can be tricked right now, and this is something that I'm afraid of, because when we have these crazy volatilities and it's not good for oscillators. They lose their edge sometimes. You know, especially 200 pips up, and then you are overbought, extremely overbought, and then you wait and and tomorrow morning you are on the level 30. Yeah,
Right.
it's
On again.
insane. It's
Dang it.
insane, you know.
Why did we do that, guys? Why did we do that?
That's certainly true.
We were up 1,000. We were
Yeah, guys,
literally
so-
Take this trade, Igor?
No, I
2/3
I
of the
was
way
hoping
there.
you.
Uh,
I wanted in that
We're trading our
moment to just
sacrifice
talk
account right
about
now.
that, but I hope that if somebody watched this moment when I
We
said
did just
that,
grab a
it's
$100,000
really
one here. So if we don't pass this $100,000 one by the end of the
trading
month,
range for
that is it.
1.271 to
because it's
1.2790.
cheaper
It's a
over
beautiful. And
here,
what I
we'd actually
think
have 2 of them if we
tomorrow,
wanted to
that range
for
can
the
be
same
even
price, but we're not
shorter.
going to do that.
Very often the
We're
next day
actually going
we will have
to,
between
what we're going to do is
1.27,
get
1.2760, for example. And we just
Okay.
play in that
2
two levels, and it can be frustrating for some traders, but for
of
range
these
traders that can be
ones
really
that
good
we already
setup.
have.
nice. Nice.
Right, gents, I think we've reached the end of our session. We
Yes.
still have a few seconds left. If there are any questions from our viewers, please do ask. We'll be happy to quickly answer them. But if not, I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know, when are you guys on again?
I believe I'm on tomorrow as well.
I do
Tomorrow
the
morning
same time
session.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
First session.
Oh,
Well, Igor, go get some more
Whoa.
trades to show us.
Richard, too, I wish you the
I will
great
try, I will
trading
try.
day tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see how things work out. But anyway,
Yes, of
that's it,
course.
guys.
interesting. There
All
wasn't
right.
a
We are
whole
20
lot of
seconds
volume
away.
that
Thanks
caused
so
that
much.
spike.
Thanks for
So
joining
that means
again
they
to all our
possibly
viewers.
sold enough.
Fantastic rest of your day,
that they're
and we'll check
testing.
you again tomorrow. Obviously, there are some more.
There's nobody
coaches
driving it
coming up
down.
after us. 2 more sessions, so please stay tuned for that as well.
Okay,
All
bye-bye.
right,
But guys,
Richard.
have a good one. All the best.
Took a lot of volume to
Bye-bye.
actually
Bye.
sell that. You see that? Look how much volume that it took to come up this way. A lot of volume to sell that. Rest. I think that means that we're going to possibly go up. There's not enough sellers.
Order filled.
I don't know how long it takes. If that's even right. But theoretically, I think that's what it means. I do gotta get going. We have to kick butt today. I have to kick butt at work today. Alright, so it doesn't know what it wants to do. I want to try to get one more in. Oh. Oh, and I was wrong. I was wrong.
Order filled.
Wish you had more scent control? Introducing the new Febreze Plug Scent Booster. Enjoy the same 50 days of continuous scent as Febreze Plug, including a cord for flexible placement options and a boost button for extra scent. New Febreze Plug Scent Booster.
Introducing the all-new reimagined.
Stop filled.
Ooh. Ooh. We were wrong.
Order filled.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Stop filled.
Oh my gosh, we're getting smashed over here. That sacrifice account is not doing so well. I'm gonna go back to small trades on our sacrifice gamble account, which is the wrong thing to do. Yeah, we really jacked up on that one. Holy smokes. Okay. We're touching here. We do have to go. All the loves and peace and
Order
joy.
filled.
We're gonna drop this in right here. Come on, I believe in your ability to down push. Give us the down push, please.
Stop filled.
Bounty Mega Roll lasts longer, so you can tackle
applesauce and avocado, berries, butter, coffee cream, drippy fingers, deviled eggs, and empanadas red and green.
Bounty Mega Roll lets you clean spills without running out.
And mommy's glass of Zinfandel.
Bounty, the quicker picker up.
All right, we do have to go. All the peace, all the loves. See ya. See ya. See ya. Until next time. We really jacked up that sacrifice account. Actually, more. That one showed. This is why we have it, actually. That one showed that we just don't have the emotional control. Still, like, we took a loss there and we just tried to make it up still. A good thing we have sacrifice accounts for that. Actually, I shouldn't do it on an account. I should do it on a sim account, but you know, I don't know that it does the same thing in my mind, but we need to get a hold of that. I don't know why I did that, to be honest. It's kind of upsetting, because I mean, it is still a account we wish we would pass. We were, you know, positive, really positive on the account. Because we do got to go. All the peace, all the loves. And yeah, we have this account now. Wait, the drawdown is the same amount? Oh, it's pretty freaking close. Why are we trading that? Why don't we just have the $50,000 ones? That's crazy.
Order filled.
We're dumb. See, you see this? See what we're doing here? That's ridiculous. We just bought the bottom. The super bottom. The bottom that is not gonna go past.
Order filled.
Apparently it will. That's crazy. Sacrifice accounts, man.
Order filled.
Sim account. That's where we need to go. Damn, that's crazy. I don't know what we're doing there. We were like a quarter, 2/3 of the way to passing the other one.
Stop filled.
And we said no thank you. We said no thank you.
Order filled.
How far do we go down? I don't know.
Hey, Paul, Michael, how's it going?
Hello, everyone. Hey, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Oh shoot,
Nice
we do
to
gotta go.
see you
All the peace,
again.
all the loves.
Hey, great to see you,
See you
Michael.
later.
Lord, I know on
Yeah,
Tuesdays,
well, I
I'm
think,
always giving you guys presents.
Well,
so
are
late.
you guys ready for some controversial takes?
So late.
Markets?
What is going
Yeah,
on here,
controversial
banned?
takes
We already
today.
banned him. We can move out of the